I felt anxious. My body tightened up. I held my breath or find it a little bit difficult to breathe, but more so I held my breath when she was around. I would look on the floor instead. I didn't feel safe and I felt like I might be retaliated against.
Three, two, one, yeah!
After leaving the corporate 9-to-5 grind, I became the boss of my own spiritual business, helping others explore and navigate the human experience from insight, wisdom, and lessons learned along the way. Today, I help aspiring spiritual entrepreneurs gain the confidence to share their gifts with the world. Welcome to the Happy Healing Shop podcast. I'm your host, Trang Pham Nguyen, and each week we'll dive into incredible stories of strength, resilience, and transformation. So, if you are ready for some serious breakthroughs, laughs and tears, and stories that will inspire you, you are in the right place, my friend. Let's get started.
Hey there! Today I'm going to talk about a exercise that my therapist taught in the very beginning days when I started therapy. It was actually after I left my abusive boss at Disney and moved over to the finance team and worked for a different boss at Disney. And the thing is, when I moved to another team, I was hoping I wouldn't see her again. But the thing is, she was only one level below where I worked, and a lot of the meetings were held at my floor. So I would still see her in the hallways. And eventually, her office got moved up to literally even closer to me at my new role, maybe like 15 feet away. So it was one of those things where like I was going to see her and continue seeing her every day still. Now, the thing is, I noticed I was very on edge when I was working for her team, but I noticed whenever she went by, or if I saw her in the hallway or walking towards me, if I just happened to be in the hallway as well, my body would be on edge. Like I would think like, oh no, is something bad gonna happen? I also had that sense of feeling of, oh, she can ruin my career by saying things about me. So this was a little bit tricky because when you're in a workplace and there's that hierarchy, especially the strong hierarchy at Disney, and the abuse of power, it kind of adds a different layer to the situation. So I wanted to not have this icky feeling anymore when I saw her around. And so my therapist actually gave me a CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy exercise to do. It was actually more of a worksheet. So if you just Google CBT exercises PDF, there will be a whole bunch of them available that you can probably download or view and work on. Keep in mind, every therapist, every person has a different style. So this is just me sharing what I learned and what I knew in hopes that maybe if you're not able to afford a therapist, then this could possibly help you. Keep in mind, this took me about 2 to 3 months to do and feel better. It's kind of like when you want to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, that's not going to happen. It takes time for it to get there. And it made me learn how powerful our minds are. So with CBT, it takes a situation that you've dealt with or the person you're having these emotions and feelings towards. And it's funny because it's like it makes you separate things and breaks it down more. So I feel like your brain can maybe compartmentalize it better and understand how to shift it. So it breaks it down from emotions to feelings and separates it from the thoughts and beliefs that you have and the behaviors and actions that happen and that what you want to see happen. So I'll give you an example, but it sounds so easy and more of like, really, that's all you need to do. But keep in mind, it's something you have to implement over and over again. So even though I did this exercise, she said, take these new thoughts and remind yourself every time when you see her. And I remember in the beginning thinking like, this feels dumb. It feels stupid, and over time it just got less and less and less. But keep in mind, it did take me about 2 to 3 months to really start to feel like, you know what? I am safe in this new department and I am a-okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I still felt angry about the situation. I'm more so angry the fact that Disney didn't do much to reprimand her. Well, they did reprimand her, but it was more so probably she has a mark on her record, but she now is on better behavior. and knows not to repeat it again, because if she's reported again, who knows what would happen. Whereas in my mind, I wish she just got fired. So here's an example I'll give that I'm going to make up kind of on the spot right now because I don't have the original worksheet where I wrote my exercises on, because it has been like since 2018 that this happened. So you'd break it down on the worksheet and write it out about the situation. And for example, the situation is my ex-boss gaslit me, made me question myself and my work, and is very unpredictable in her requests and what she wants to happen. And then you break it down to thoughts. What were the thoughts going on in my mind? So for example, I feel anxiety, not knowing what's going to happen next. I feel like she might say something that's going to affect my career or affect my work status or get me fired here at Disney. And then we break it down to feelings. So I felt anxious, my body tightened up. I held my breath, or find it a little bit difficult to breathe, but more so I held my breath when she was around. I would look on the floor instead. I didn't feel safe, and I felt like I might be retaliated against or have people turned against me. And then the new thought, or the new reframe was, and this was the thing I had to remind myself every time I saw her, felt her presence nearby, and it was, you are safe, you got the job, you interviewed, and you're qualified, overly qualified for the new team you're on. Your new boss is nice, and he doesn't know anything that went down, which is irrelevant anyways, but you have a job, you're on a new team, and she can't touch you. And that's one thing I had to keep reminding myself, like, you're okay, you're safe, she can't touch you. She can't touch you. And over time, that's really being able to do that. It's not easy. I'm making it sound like you just think another thing, but it really is, especially after being under, I guess you can say, abuse, after being bullied. It takes time to build that confidence back up again and to feel okay in your heart, in your mind, and in your body. So that's kind of like a really quick overview. So again, if you Google CBT exercise PDF or whatever, then you'll definitely find it, download it, and do it. It's really more giving yourself time to heal, giving yourself grace, and also, I guess, doing the work and going through all those emotions, because it's a lot. A lot of things can come up, and you deserve the help and support that you need to get through the healing journey, through the healing process. And another side note I want to make about the healing journey is, this is something I saw from a YouTube video on the channel Channeling Eric. And it talks about how you might be going through depression, you might be going through something really deep and dark. And it's one of those things where positive thinking, as much as the intention is meant to do good, it can be very unhelpful. So you can't just be in depression and just think positively, right? And so what I liked about what the psychic that was channeling was that she was saying, Eric, who was a spirit, to do things that would help neutralize your energy. So when you are so low, you can't just go from low up to like way high up here to happiness, sheer happiness. What instead, you have to kind of try to get your body and your mind to that neutral ground. And then from there, we can work to being happy or joyful or being in a higher frequency, right? So the example she gave was that she used to have cancer, and she was diagnosed with it, and it was a really difficult time in her life. And she would start Googling, researching a lot about it, and a lot of the stories were not positive. And one of the things she had to learn to do to help neutralize the energy is to stop going online, to stop giving people online the power of telling her how long she has to live. And I believe now either she doesn't have cancer or it's dormant, but when it comes to neutralizing that energy, it sounds a bit more realistic, from going depression to getting to ground zero again, right? Instead of going to ground 100. So ways to neutralize it again, she was saying, was, going outside, going out for a walk, not scrolling and looking at your phone anymore. Talk with a friend. It's like things that we kind of know that are healthy for us. But if you kind of look at it in a way of, okay, you're down the dumps, and maybe the things you do or the things you used to like doing aren't going to exactly make you happy in about 20 seconds, but at least you can get to the point where you can neutralize that energy and get closer to ground zero. So that's another thing I found online, which I hope helps you see things in a different light. I'll include some free resources down below in the show notes. And if you are looking for a community that can help hold and support you, I invite you to join the Happy Healing Club, which is my healing membership that includes healing events, healing workshops. I feel like I'm saying healing a lot, but our shadow work healing journal, my archive of guided meditations, and also being surrounded by like-minded people and also wounded healers. I also have a Facebook group called Happy Healers, and we also offer online courses at thehappyhealingshop.com. Again, I'll include all those down below in the show notes. I hope today's podcast episode has helped you. Please let me know if you've tried or done CBT exercises or any other exercises that have helped you. I would love for you to share it down below in case someone else might see it, and who knows, it might help them too. So always remember to shine your light brightly and to share your story, because you never know who it can help, give hope to, or inspire to create a change in their own world. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon.